Hey everyone and welcome back. If you have been following along, you have already launched your first server, set up your cloud storage, and even created a database. But there is a critical piece missing that ties everything together and keeps it secure. That is the network. Today we are going to dive into AWS VPC, the service that gives you your own private, isolated network in the cloud. By the end of this video, you will understand how to build a secure foundation for all of your cloud projects. Just to quickly recap our journey so far, we have now built a solid foundation with a virtual machine, a storage bucket, and a managed database. You have all the pieces to a basic application, but how do you ensure these pieces can talk to each other securely and are protected from the outside world? That's our goal today. We are going to use Amazon VPC to create a private network where we have complete control. So, what exactly is a VPC? VPC stands for Virtual Private Cloud. Think of it like this: AWS is a huge, bustling city with a countless buildings. A VPC is your private apartment in that city. It's a logical, isolated section of the AWS cloud where you can launch all your resources, your EC2 instance, your RDS database, and so on, and you have complete control over who can access them. The benefits are massive, primarily in terms of security and control. A VPC is built from several key components. First, we have subnets. Think of subnets as a different rooms in your apartment. We can have a public subnet, which is like your living room with a big window to the street, and a private subnet, like a secure bedroom. An internet gateway is the front door, allowing traffic to enter or leave the public subnet. Route tables are the directions on how to get to the different rooms. And finally, security groups are the individual firewalls for each of your servers or resources controlling traffic at a very granular level. Alright, let's jump into the console and build a VPC together. We will follow these 5 steps. I will walk you through creating the VPC itself, then we will set up our public and private subnet. We will attach the internet gateway, configure the route tables, and finally we will create a security group to protect your resources. So we are logged into the AWS Management Console. To begin, we will search for the VPC service and click on it. On the left-hand navigation menu, select your VPCs and then click the Create VPC button. Now we will give our network its name something like my first VPC. Then we need to choose a CIDR block, which is the range of IP addresses we will use. Think of this as the master address range for your apartment building. The common safe choice is 10.0.0.0/16. I will leave the other options as they are for now and hit Create VPC. With our VPC created, the next step is to create our subnets. The subnets are like different rooms within our apartments. We will need at least one public subnet and one private subnet. Let's go to subnets in the left menu and click Create Subnet. First, we'll select our VPC that we have just created. Let's name our first subnet, that is public subnet. We'll give it a CIDR block of 10.0.1.0/24. This is a smaller range of addresses that fall within our VPC's main range. A crucial step for a public subnet is to go to subnets actions and select modify auto assign IP address and then enable this option so that our instances get a public IP address. Let me show you. Click on the public subnet, go to actions, edit subnet settings, and click on enable auto assign public IP address. Click save. Now let's create our second subnet. We will name it as private subnet. Select the VPC, name it as private subnet, and give it a CIDR block of 10.0.2.0/24. This is one this one is for our sensitive resources like database. So we'll leave the auto assign IP address setting disabled to ensure it's not directly accessible from the internet. Our VPC is still a completely private network with no connection to the outside world. To fix that, for our public subnet, we will need an internet gateway. Let's click on Internet Gateways on the left and click Create Internet Gateway. I will name it as my first IGW and click on Create. After it's created, you will see that it's still in detached state. We need to attach it to our VPCs. So I will select a new Internet Gateway and click on Actions and Attach to VPC. Select the VPC we have created, click on Attach Internet Gateway. Now our front door is connected to our apartment building. The internet gateway is attached, but our subnets don't know how to use it. This is where root tables comes in. Go to root tables in the left menu. You will see one that was created automatically with our VPC. Let's select it and give it a more descriptive name like public route table. Now let's look at the routes tab. We need to add a route that directs traffic destined for the internet to our internet gateway. I will click Edit Routes and then click Add Route. Basically, this is already there because I was doing this. So what you need to do is you need to just add a destination, click on Add Route and provide the same details that you can see here. Let's remove this one, the existing one, and click on Add Routes. In the destination field, type 0.0.0.0/0. This represents all traffic that's not destined for our local network. For the target, I will select our internet gateway. I think it's just okay. So this is not the correct route table that we should edit. Let's remove this name. Let's refresh it. Okay, so this is the newly created route table. We should update this with the name of public route table. Go to routes tab, click on edit routes, add route 0.0/0. Select internet gateway as a target and then your internet gateway that you created. Save changes. Perfect. Finally, we need to associate this route table with our public subnet. I'll go to the subnet association and click on edit subnet associations. Select our public subnet. Our private subnet will use the default route table, which has no route to the internet, so it stays nice and secure. I will click Save Association. Perfect. The last critical piece of our setup is the security group, which acts as a virtual firewall for our individual instances. Let's go to Security Group and click Create Security Group. I will name it as Web Server Security Group and link it to our VPC that we had created in the just before. Under inbound rules, we will add some rules. Since this security group will be for our web server, we will add rules to allow inbound traffic from on port HTTP, that is 80. Also, we will create a rule for HTTPS, that is port 443. Source will be 0.0.0 so that everyone can connect it for the HTTP part and HTTP as well. There's one more rule that we would want is SSH, but I would do it for my IP only, so we can connect to the server. For our database, we would let's just create security group. Let's give it a description. This is a web server security group. Let's create security group. Okay, this is done. For our database, we would create a separate security group that only allows inbound traffic on the database port. Example port 33064 for MySQL. From our web server security group. This ensures only our application can talk to our database, keeping it completely protected from the internet. This is the best practice for security. So similar approach we would do. Like click on security groups and create security groups. Name it as database security group. Something similar description. Our VPC inbound rule, we would allow the port that is of the database. It should be 33064 for MySQL. The custom is should be only the security group of application, the web server basically. This web server security group. So only our application will be able to access this database. Perfect. So database is also created. Perfect. Okay. So now let's talk about some best practices. This is crucial. Always, and I mean always, launch sensitive resources like your database into a private subnet. Never expose them directly to the internet. Never expose them directly to the internet. Use security groups to act as a virtual firewall and only open the ports that are absolutely required. The great news is that creating a VPC and its subnets doesn't cost anything. You only pay for services you run with it. So there you have it. You have now mastered the basics of AWS networking with VPC. You have created a secure, isolated home for all of your cloud resources. In our next video, we are going to take everything we have learned, EC2, S3, RDS, and now VPC, and deploy a real-world simple web application. You will see how all these services work together to create a fully functional, secure, and scalable solution. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you.